Look at the beauties. Look at the beauties. Hey guys, welcome to the Book Island. So today I'm going to be doing a very, very special video talking about one of my favorite series ever. That is the A Court of Wings and Runes series by Sarah J Maas. So let's just get into it. So the plot of this series is about Feyre, this young human girl who is in the forest hunting for food during the winter, and she stumbles across a fairy and she kills it. And basically once you kill the fairy, this High Lord of Perinthian, which is the realm of the fairies, comes bursting into her house demanding a price. And that price is that she would either die or go off and live the rest of her days in Perinthian with him. So I gave the entire series as a whole a 5 out of 5 stars, but my level for each book is different. In this series, I feel like there was enough substantial character growth. You see the development in Feyre. She has just grown so much in who she is from the first book to the last book, and that's really something that I love in a series, especially when it's a few books. Once it gets to a trilogy, I feel like character development is necessary for even the plot to flow correctly. One thing that I really liked about this series was that the villains are really well-rounded. You could see a purpose to their villainy or whatever. You could see how they thought what they were doing was righteous, and you could kind of feel for them. Not really feel for them because they're kind of I don't like you, but you could understand where they're coming from. So another thing that I liked about this book is that the heroes have a dark side as well. You create a person that is not completely likable, which is kind of the way that Feyre and Tamlin and Rhysand and all the characters in these books are. It's they're not perfect people because nobody's perfect. So they all have things that are not really great about them, but they are the heroes of the story and you love them no matter what. And I love how she makes you love them without a fault, even though they have faults. So the entire series is from first person, from Feyre's point of view, and I think that was really a great way to write the story because I feel like it was really about Feyre telling her feelings and her story, and I liked hearing it from Feyre's point of view because I feel like her other series, Throne of Glass, is very good and it's really well written from third point of view, and for that series it works, but for this series, if it was in third person, I feel like it wouldn't work because the series was mostly just Feyre and her emotions, and we were experiencing her development. She was having her own feels in her own life, basically, and it was the first person really helped with us, going through the motions with her. In this series, book 1 and book 3 were very plot-driven, and then book 2 was extremely character driven. I really enjoyed the first and third book because they had so much they're so intricately, they weren't that intricate, but I mean they were well done with the plot and stuff like that. And I feel like A Court of Mist and Fury, which is the second book, was a glorified filler novel, kind of. So it's you have a lot of character development, and when I mean glorified filler novel, I don't mean in a bad way. I mean it was absolutely amazing because the second book in a trilogy is always a filler, no matter how good it was. It was a filler, but it was probably the most amazing second book in a trilogy that I've ever read, and it was great to see the character development as well as the plot in the first and the third book of the series. Now don't get me wrong, this series certainly has its faults. It's filled with tropes and stuff like that, but it is just really good. I feel like everyone who reads it's gonna tell you tropes galore is in this series, but it's just so fun to read because you just get attached to all the characters. So if you're not a really big trope person, I guess maybe wouldn't be for you, but still try it out because I guarantee you'll at least get something from it. So now it's time for the spoilers section of my review. So for the spoiler section, I'm gonna go book by book just so I get all my feelings out and stuff like that, and yeah. So I really like in this book that it doesn't send Feyre straight off into the fairy world. It takes a good 4, 5, maybe even 6-ish chapters, maybe a bit more, until you actually see her go to the fairy realm and the story starts to pick up pace. In ACOTAR, like the first scene is her killing the fairy, so it like literally dives you right in, but then you have like a little tiny waiting period where everything like calms down and stuff like that. Like guys, Feyre and Lucien's relationship is just so good in this book. I love the little banter that they have and how the relationship kind of goes to being like, I don't like you, and like to like cute little sassiness, and then they like actually start to get along. And then they start to really lean on each other. And then in the mountain, like under the mountain, you get their like little moment when during Feyre's like thing going on. What is it? Une épreuve. I only have the word in French. I can't find the word in English. Oh my god, what is it? What is the word? Oh my god, this happens too often. I got it. I'm gonna find it. I'm not. Anyways, it's an épreuve in French. It's like like one of her tasks or whatever. Like those things that she does under the mountain, every full moon, you know. I just can't find the word. So yeah, so when it's like her second task and she has to read the thing and then the spikes fall on them and that was just kind of like bonding moment for them, and I enjoyed like seeing that, even though it was kind of horrifying for Feyre. I liked reading the scene because I felt like Feyre and Lucien kind of had they were like, we are best friends, I will not let you die kind of moment. Okay guys, so like, don't yell at me, but I actually liked Feyre and Tamlin's relationship in ACOTAR because like I can hear all the people just screaming at me like, what the heck are you thinking? But like I feel like she needed to be with him in book 1 just so she can realize how awful this guy was before lovely little man Rysand just comes along and is wonderful, you know? I feel like she really needed him to be her first relationship in the fairy realm so that she could be introduced to all the people and finally meet her mate. I like the way the relationship like builds because like you kind of see like Feyre, she kind of like doesn't like him and she's like, you're a fairy and like you're really not an okay person. And then she kind of like is like, okay, you're hot, okay, you're starting to be sweet, okay, and now I like you. Like, I like that kind of thing, even though it's like super unrealistic. Feyre's relationship with her sisters is actually not one of my favorite things from ACOTAR because I just feel like they were just really rude to her, and sisters wouldn't do that. Like, I have a sister and like, yeah, we fight and stuff like that, but like, my sister would never be rude to me like that, and I would never be rude to my sister like that. Like, Nesta was kind of a bit of a jerk to her, and I just didn't really enjoy that. But at the same time, one thing I enjoyed about the relationship is the complexity of it and how, like, even though they were nothing but crap to her, Feyre, like, the bonds of family were just so strong within Feyre, and she's like, listen, you're my blood, you're my family, I'm always gonna love you. And I feel like that's something that's really nice to just, like, read about. Now again, this is a thing that I really hope you guys don't hate me for, but Amarantha was actually one of my favorite characters of the entire series because I had like a relationship with this character that I was like, I really loved to hate her because she was just so bad. It was just, well, she wasn't like the worst villain ever, but like she was pretty bad. So like, and it was just really fun to hate her, if you know what I mean. And I also feel like she was the better villain because the King of Hibern isn't all that present, kind of. I mean, he's like the threat looming, but Amarantha is like there and present in the book kind of thing. And what I enjoyed is that she is really the villain who had more of an impact than even the King of Hibern on all of the characters because she's inflicted so much pain on Feyre and Rysand and our little buddies, like the little cuties that are in the inner circle. And we just, like, I just felt like there was way more emotion surrounding what she did to them rather than what the King of Hibern could have done to them. So another thing that I didn't like about this book was I did feel like Under the Mountain was a lot more rushed than the rest of the story. I don't know, I felt very rushed in reading it, and it could be that I read fast when I'm into it, but I just felt like it was a faster pace than the rest of the book. Last thing about ACOTAR, guys, Rysand. We need more Rysand in that book. So I feel like I can't say enough about Feyre's character development, so I'm going to try to keep it brief. But I love how in ACOMAF we see her become such a strong and independent person when she was at such a low point at the beginning of the book. And it was beautiful to see her development and just how strong she became and how amazing she was. I mean, that battle for the rainbow, I was just like feeling so many things, and it was just really, really beautiful for me to read. The next thing is Feyre and Rhysand's relationship. They're just so cute. Oh my gosh. Every time they had a scene and they were together, Rhysand would like walk onto the page, my heart would start beating faster, and I was like, yes, we're gonna have a scene. We're gonna have a beautiful scene between these two people. There's gonna be snarkiness and just such cuteness right there. And I was just loving it so much. I love how we see their relationship develop as they develop as individual people. And they learn to be independent, but they also learn to be like, to depend on each other when it just gets a little too much for them to handle on their own. So like, I was pleasantly surprised of hating Tamlin in this book because like, obviously in ACOTAR we were like, oh, Tamlin, the most beautiful man, he's so amazing, blah blah blah. We were like, they always have to be together forever. And I love how like Sarah J Maas is like, psych, he's actually a dick. Here is Rhysand, the most amazing female you're ever gonna meet. And it was just absolutely wonderful. And it was like it was kind of like a plot twist, but not. It was just a kind of thing. It was like, no, I don't want you to like him. I want you to ship her with him instead because he's a lot better. And again, one thing I didn't like about this book is that they spent a whole bunch of time with the character development, and then the confrontation at the end was rushed. Let's talk about ACOWAR, baby. Let's talk about it and me. No, I'm just kidding. That was so bad. So basically, the thing that I loved was just you pick up with Feyre in the Spring Court and her just being a bad A. Like, it was just amazing to see how strong she was. And she was like at every turn, she was like deking those like twins, Brenna and Dagdan, or I think that's how you say their names. I'm not sure, I can never pronounce these names. But I think it was so cool because she was like, using her little Daemati powers, and she was like, I'm gonna block your minds. After all the developing she did in Akomath, you see like how strong, and the final product of her being in like all strong and like, yeah, I don't have muscles, so it doesn't look that impressive. I loved like Feyre and Lucien's journey to get back home to the Night Court. Again, you see more of their like little bonding time, and it was like just so great. Feyre and Rhysand's reunion. My heart. Oh my gosh, it was just so cute. They were back at the townhouse, and it was like, my baby boy is back. Really loved exploring all the new courts. I was just like, woo, the Winter Court is just so cool. The Dawn Court is so beautiful. Like, the explanations and the descriptions, I was like, whoa, this is really nice. I mean, nothing beats Valeris, but it was still super beautiful. Lucien's dad, though, Lucien's dad is freaking Hellion from the Day Court, and I was just like, like, Lucien is his only living son. Sarah J Maas needs to write a story about that. About a little Hellion and Lucien, like, reunion or, like, thing when they find out about each other. And I just can't wait for that. So, one thing I'm kind of confused about, Tamrin's redemption, question mark? Like, what was that about? Because he did some good things, but he did some pretty awful things in that book too, so I was just like, you're not redeemed in my eyes. So this is the thing I hated the most. Okay, no. I can't say that I hated. I don't think I hated anything from the series, but I did dislike this for sure. I didn't like Rhysand's death at the end of ACOWAR. I feel like that was just such a waste of our feels. He's dead, he's lying there, and we're all just like, huh! My little baby is dead. And then, like, literally 3 pages later, he's back and he's alive. We didn't have to feel that awful if he was just gonna come back 3 pages later. I feel like it was kind of like weird that the problem was just fixed so fast. Well guys, that is the end of my review. I apologize for it being super long, but I had to like express all my feelings. So that's really it for the series review. Here they are. Aren't they so pretty? This is ACOWAR. This is Aquamath. Guys, I put lipstick on my book. Like, what is that? That's so awful. And then this is Aquatar. But yeah, so that is my review on the Aquatar series. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time, guys. Bye!